If there's one piece of advice that I could just give to absolutely anybody that is just starting out in their fitness journey, or if they haven't started yet, you know, on their path to become a better version of themselves, start improving themselves, get fitter, get stronger, get leaner, all those things. If there's one thing that I could just remind them of, is that we're in this for the long haul, for the long duration. Like, we can write programs for like 6 to 12 weeks, but we're not doing it for 6 to 12 weeks or the next 6 months or even a year. You know, you should be focusing on this for that absolute long term. Like, I'm 35 now and I hope to be doing this for another 40, 45, 50 years. You know, constantly lifting, staying active, getting fitter, getting stronger, trying to keep on top of building muscle mass, eating whole, nutritious foods, and trying to do that for as absolutely long as possible. And that is what I want to try and remind everybody of that is doing this now, especially if you're a dad or a mum or a grandparent and you want to be around for as long as possible and be as active as possible. Then you need to be looking years and years ahead. And once you understand that, and once you realize that it's more than just the 6 months, it's more than just putting in loads of intensity right now at Christmas and New Year's and then dropping off. When you understand that you're doing this for the next 30, 40 years and it becomes a part of a lifestyle and a way of doing things, that realization, you know, that sort of thing that clicks, it clicks in your mind that you are doing it for a hell of a long time. So don't be worried about the shortfalls now, and don't be worried about not being perfect right now or hitting your nutrition goals right this second, or your lifting goals right this second, or you're not where you want to be according to a scale or a mirror. You know, don't worry about if you've just started and you're just starting now, because it could take a good year or so before you start seeing any real change, real progress, depending on how intense you are with your workouts and your nutrition. You know, so don't worry about being absolutely perfect right now. We are look for progress, look for making them tiny little increments over the next course of years. You know, start with 1 to 2 workouts per week, make little progress, start increasing to 3 and 4, and then start trying to hit different strength targets, or become faster, or do more conditioning, or be able to go for longer. Set yourself these mini goals, but understand these mini goals aren't the end. They're not the end goal at all. You know, we are going for the next years and years and years. So don't worry about it right now if you are not making absolute perfection or progress is slow, because you're going to have drop-offs. If you're a busy parent, you've got and you're running a business like I am, and you're doing all these things, you know, you're going to have little mistakes and little hiccups, but don't let that put you off from carrying on and trying. You know, if you have a bad week here or there and you haven't really worked out, don't let it put you off and think that there's absolutely no point doing it. You just think it's a slight deviation. We can't always do things linear and get everything perfect every single time. You know, we're a dad and we've got 2 kids, and I've got these 2 guys to take care of, you know, and we've got businesses to run and things like this. You know, even we still have moments and lapses. So, but the main thing that keeps you going is understanding that I still want to be able to do all these things and all these big things with my kids years and years to come. So it's not right about right now. Like, if I cock up this week, you know, I look to improve next week, and I need to understand that I'm still going to be doing this when I'm 60, 70 years old. Because if I don't, and I can't be active, and I can't lift my grandkids, and I can't do things, I know I've let myself and them down. So it's about the long term, and that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give anybody. Now, that's not an excuse not to half-ass it. Like, don't think, oh well, I've got 30 years, so you know, I will just go steady as absolutely possible. No, you've still got to train with some intention. You've still got to strive to be that little bit better every day, and you've still got to try and eat your nutrition targets and keep making positive changes. But don't let it become stagnant. You've still got to keep trying to progress. I know I'm saying that you've got another 30, 40 years of doing this, which is absolutely true, but you still need to train with intent and train with a purpose, you know, throughout those years, and still trying to be a little bit better. But all I'm saying is, just remind yourself that if you have a shit week, don't let that put you off and not carry on and want to quit. You know, just look towards the future and all the things you want to achieve and all the things you want to do. And that is the biggest piece of advice that I can give to absolutely anybody. You know, that biggest reminder that we're doing this for the long haul, and that should be the goal, to still be able to get up and down and move when I'm like 75, 80 years old. I still want to be able to lift things and not be that dependable on other things or other people. You know, I don't want to be a burden in any way, shape or form. So yeah, guys, that's the biggest piece of advice that I could absolutely give anybody. Just a quick reminder that to look well into the distance if you're just starting out your journey. Don't worry about the next, like I say, 3 to 6 or 12 months. You know, look well beyond that and set your goals accordingly. All right, guys.